It says live. I'll take it as live because live happens on Friday. It happens on Friday. He's off to a rolling start for grammar. Excuse me. This is going to happen a couple of times. Excuse me. I should have muted the mic, huh? Sorry about that. I'll try to remember that next time. So while I was at Skills USA last week in Atlanta, surrounded by 40,000 high school children, it's almost as bad as being surrounded by 40,000 toddlers. What a bunch of happy germ factories. So I caught my second round of COVID, Corona, monkeypox, Omicron, Persei 8. And I'm done with the contagious part. That's the 10-day thing. I'm done with that. But because of an ancient injury, whenever I catch something as mild as a cold, that would affect everybody in here for 24 hours, and then they wouldn't even know what happens. In 6 months, I will be done coughing. It will get better and better every day, and it has been for the last week, but I'm going to have to do that for the next couple of months, years, weeks. So with apologies, but my problem is solved today because we have at least one guest, and I know that another one is going to be joining for at least a little bit of time. And when that happens, we had a nice chat today, and I feel that I will be able to say, okay, the floor is yours, and I will sit back and watch and read questions. And man, I guess Andrew Hutz is on vacation. I haven't seen or heard from him. And that's going to be a possible challenge. I got to try and stay up real good on our Russian hackers who made an appearance on Mike's show last couple of days. So I will certainly be able to pay somewhat attention then. Fun day. This is 6 weeks in the making as far as from the first installment of this goes, and then take that back a couple more months for the research and the pre-search and the failures and all that good stuff. But we are cooking. And speaking of which, too early. We still have too few people here to start pushing that, but we do have a good start. So let's see what's going on. This is drama. Who cares who I am, right? Dave Rush Ask Me Anything, because I am Dave Rush, and we get together every Friday at 2 o'clock Central Time for a couple hours to find an alternative method to add to our studies. Yes, PyR is up and running. To add to our studies in preparation for CompTIA exams. So any CompTIA exam is fair game. If I know something about it, I'll talk about it. If not, I'll take notes, and we'll do that further. Of course, we then extend that a little bit into, beg your pardon, how to use Raspberry Pis as a tool to foster studying for CompTIA exams. And that's where we are today. Hola, Zoltan. I'll have to learn how to do greetings in Hungarian. My about half my family is off the boat in the 40s and 50s from across the street in what was Czechoslovakia. I think, I don't know if they were Czech or Slovaks. I always kind of assumed that they were Czech, but I don't know. They were Schmitz, and lots of good stories that come out of the Schmidt family as they left Eastern Bloc countries and crawled on their bellies at nights underneath barbed wire fences. Yeah, those are the relatives. They're all gone now. Nobody left to tell those stories, but they were certainly fun and interesting stories at family get-togethers. At any rate, so I am Dave Rush. This is drama, and we're together to talk about CompTIA certifications. And in particular, today we are talking about the final installment of Helpdesk ticketing systems. Several sessions ago, our first installment is what do you need to know for the new CompTIA objectives? And then a couple weeks ago, we did how to install a particular one, osTicket, on a Raspberry Pi, which in further research, we think we're the first. We are getting write-ups and all kinds of really interesting press about that. You'll see it coming out in short order. Today, we're going to use it. We're going to configure it. We're going to use it. And for that, we have one or two SMEs, representatives from, I beg your pardon, EnhancedSoft, who is the parent company that owns and operates osTicket, and another company they're going to talk about. And we're going to be working with Chloé Bowman and with, at least briefly, for their with their CEO, Peter Rodich. I'm sorry, R-O-T-I-C-H. And he's their CEO and inventor of the product. And I'm basically going to turn the show over to them at some point and say, let them talk us through this thing. One of the things that I forgot to ask them in our pre-thing is if they create a database entry of all the stuff, if they could have just sent that to me and we could have imported it. And my guess is that that can be done, and probably fairly easily. All right, anything else I want to do here in this pre-stuff, or just dive right into questions? I think it's what I'm doing. I want to make sure that we have plenty of time to do this stuff today. Some of the stuff we're going to do is a little bit time consuming. I do want to mention this. PyRsquare.zapto.org is up and running. I don't have anything for today, and the reason is because we're free-forming this with the folks at EnhancedSoft. So I'm gonna, if necessary, I'm gonna write something up, but basically it's demonstration today. I'm not sure there's gonna be anything to write up, so we'll see how she all goes. I see somebody's got their poolies in. Boy, Mike is having a tough time figuring that one out. He's trying to figure out how poolie had something to do with pitties, pit bulls. And we're all sending him clues and hints and kinks, and finally, oh yeah, poolie. Okay, I got it. Checking my notes here. Not doing any of that nonsense. I repeat that stuff so often. I will do this. This is a live Ask Me Anything. Easiest way and quickest way to ask questions and communicate with me and with each other is to use the YouTube chat feed. If that's not possible, there are other ways by which you can contact us, and I would like to share one with you right now. Not that button, this button, share screen. So you can contact me, Dave R. at TotalSem.com. I still have a TotalSem address, and as far as I know, ever and always will. Who knows, a year or two from now what happens with National Cyber Group, but for the moment they're leaving us be. You can also contact me by my personal email, drushtx at Yahoo. So if you're watching this on an archive or something like that, you want to communicate with me, by all means, send me an email. I will respond to you ever so quickly. While I've got these up, let's cover the rest of these things. My server's up if you want any old documents, and man, I really encourage you, if you're interested in this series that we've been doing, getting osTicket to run on a Raspberry Pi, download the notes from last week's, the week before. I was in Atlanta last week. The week before show, part 2 of 3 of installing Helpdesk ticketing system from this site, PyRsquare.zapto.org. I'll put that up on the chat feed. And man, what a joy, what a fun product to work with. I stole liberally from this site to get the installation going. I took 2 technologies and put them together, get Ubuntu running on Raspberry Pi, and then this is an install guide, how to install osTicket on Ubuntu. It's not perfect. I had to make some modifications to it, and that's what you'll get in my download notes. So I do encourage you to get my download notes and follow that. It's got everything that you need, how to install Ubuntu on Raspberry Pi, and then how to install osTicket on that installation. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm saying. Let's get these other 2 announcements out of the way right now. We got specials. I'll put all this stuff in the chat feed as soon as I'm done getting these read off. This week, our special 50% off ebook / total tester bundles that you create yourself. You go to TotalSem.com and you pick one of these areas of study: A+, Net+, Sec+, Cybersecurity Analyst Plus, Pen Test Plus, and AWS Systems Architecture Associate. You want to study and prep for the exam in any of those areas. You get the ebook from that area, put it in your shopping cart. You get the Total Tester package, for that same area. Put it in your shopping cart. And then when you check out, use the code CRASH. There was a stock market crash in 1893 this week. So I went with that. And that will get you 50% off of the two products together. It's already insanely cheap. That'll bring it down even cheaper. It's good through this Sunday night, July 3rd. Monday, we'll have a new code up and operational. Last thing to share with you is the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel link. There exists, not run by us or owned by us or operated by us or anything, an unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel. People get together, they talk about the show, they talk about topics on the show, and it has morphed into much, 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 much more than that. There's people studying for A+ and Net+ and ITF+, and they're talking about Linux, and they're talking about Raspberry Pis, and they're talking about troubleshooting, help me fix my computer. You can be one of the people who answers those questions. You can be one of the people who asks those questions. There's a lot there, so encourage you to go pay that a visit. Let me unshare this, and I'll put all that stuff in the chat feed right now, and then we'll start checking out what's going on the chat feed. I'm not going to put these up in any particular orders. Whatever I happen to have highlighted right now is what goes up first. That sounded like steam escaping, right? Okay, first thing up is the Discord link. No, it wasn't. That was the specials link. Here comes the Discord link. Here comes Pi Square link. And then one of the tutorial for this week. Today's tutorial. That should take care of just about everything. If I missed anything or something else that you want to put up, ask me. Oh, yeah, I'll put my email address. Dave Rush email. DAVER at totalsem.com. Bam. Okay. That's enough links. Let's see who's here and what they're talking about for today. Sip time. It's my usual brewed iced tea, sun tea. It's been warm out here. Chloé gets in half an hour early as usual. Will Shaw's here. Greetings. Got Friday off. Huzzah. Well, if you're off, aren't you? You're Delta Jock. You should be picketing. And I'm looking at this, Will. So they offer some passengers $10K to voluntarily bump some seats out of Michigan. And I'm thinking, you know, which pilot among anybody at Delta, what the top paid pilot, did not make $10,000 in a day? I'd be screaming bloody murder. You giving bumped passengers more than you're paying me? TD Wash is here. Hola. Nice to see you back. Andre, good evening. It is evening for Andre. Hanging out in the Netherlands. William Jeske's here. Man, look at all these. There's nobody here whose name I haven't read yet who hasn't won something. We are doing our usual giveaway today, of course. People saying hi to each other. Pi Square is up and running. Zoltan's here. Kylie Powder's here. I love that name. If I remember right, that's a real name. Andre, we just picked up our new puppy today. Kids have been playing with it, of course. Well, I hope they don't break it. Then you got to get another one. It's exhausted and sleeping. Sure, it's a puppy. I forgot what kind. Did you get pits? I don't remember what you were going to get. I know Zoltan's got, yeah, Zoltan's got a poolie, but I've forgotten what you're getting. Okay. A Hungarian greeting. Give it to me phonetically, Zoltan, when you get a chance. I'll say Saya for now and try and co-pronounce S and Z with a Western pronunciation, Saya. But thank you. I'm always looking for all the usual new stuff in a language that I should know. It's a hello, goodbye, thank you, please, count to 10, where's the bathroom, and how to order a beer. With that, you can get by with about 95% in your world. Okay, people asking that. I wish your puppies give your family great joy. Me too, especially on barbecue days. This is a holiday weekend, by the way, here in the States. Monday is July 4th. The United States celebrates its Declaration of Independence from the now lovely people that we like so much, the English. Not so much a couple hundred years ago, 225 or so, but we love the English now, but we still looking for a reason to take the day off. So for most people in the States, it is a 3-day weekend. Now, what does that mean to you? Nothing. Because Monday, even though it's a national holiday here in the US, and Total Seminars is closed for the day, as is National Cyber Group, Mike is planning on doing his AMA usual time. And I'm not traveling, so I expect to be around working the back channel. Catty Powder, I dog walk on my spare time and am obsessed with dogs. You're so lucky. You're obsessed with dogs. Well, all right, to each their own. Andre is back. Wi-Fi failed again. Had to find a patch cable. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. So I got a new computer. It's got Wi-Fi 6. It's my first computer with Wi-Fi 6. Mike's got a pair of Wi-Fi 6 routers. One of them is gathering dust. So I will probably be visit him this weekend and borrow one just to give it a trial run before I buy one. But I expect, this is 2022. Every computer that you get from here on in is going to support Wi-Fi 6. So it's going to be important to move in that direction with equipment. Zoltan, I made my first couple patch cables last week. Such a great feeling of accomplishment. Absolutely. Love teaching that in my stand-up classes. Love the feeling of seeing the people when they succeed and build one and when they troubleshoot. Excuse me. Cavalier King Charles. Yep, we say goodbye to the lovely Charles. Phonetically similar to Sia. Okay, thank you. Zia. Okay. Declaration of Independence. I thought it was because Will Smith beat the aliens. Don't make me laugh when I'm in this condition. That's twisted. Horrible, terrible. You have made so many you've lost count. Well, all right. I never lose count. I know how many crimped cables I've made. I'm at, I don't know, 2,764 was the last one that I made. I need some more around here. My longest cable run, I think, is about a 50-footer. It's Cat 7, and it's flat. Works, but I actually need a 75-footer right now, or maybe even close to a 100-footer for a project that we're going to do in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I got 4 projects lined up and ready to go, and one of them is going to be done out on my back porch. And I want a wired connection for this. I've tried wireless on the back porch. It's not very good. When I get my new Wi-Fi 6 router, it will be in a different location, have a little better household coverage than my current one, which is upstairs. I'll put it downstairs in a central hallway, ceiling mounted. But it is a challenge that to make me laugh. I find everything laughable. It's terrible. Oh, goodness. Can't wait till our guests come on so I can turn the show over to them and stop talking. All right, did that. Let me check my notes here while we get a little more caught up. And that question, email me those. We did specials. Okay. So here's something that we try to mention every week, and now's a good time to do that. I always try to let you know in advance for the day's project, do you have to have a Raspberry Pi? And the answer to this one is no. The tutorial that I am using mostly, is how to install osTicket on Ubuntu. So if you've got a computer that runs Ubuntu, you can run it in a virtual machine on your x86 machine. You can run it bare metal, not on a bare metal hypervisor, but actually install Ubuntu on a machine or in a container or whatever makes you happy. You can do that and run osTicket. That is our help desk ticket of choice. I'm doing it on a Raspberry Pi because I can, and because that's the general focus of this show. But if you don't have your Raspberry Pi system yet and you want to run and learn a little bit about help desk ticketing systems, set yourself up an Ubuntu installation of any kind, and you're off and running. All right, we got the FQDN up for Pi R Square. Nothing yet today. We'll see. I'll still keep it up all weekend. So you can access any of the old stuff. How's that? All right, where we been? Where are we going? So there was a last second shift in company priorities last week. I got pulled out by Mike to join him in Atlanta for the Skills USA Nationals Finals, National Finals. I worked the, I beg your pardon, I was a judge. There we go. So we had 42 students. Each of them got 7 virtual machines with scenarios and problems. They had to solve them. And I got 3 of those machines and 42 people to grade. Did they find the problem? Usually that wasn't a big deal because that's actually kind of documented in their instruction sheet. But were they able to resolve it? And it was really cool because one of them was Windows based, 2 of them were Linux based. So here's one of those situations where having a working knowledge of Linux can be important. They were presented with these problems because they are somewhat real world problems. Some of them are just challenging and out to demonstrate how much you know. But so as technicians, they should be able to move around. You should be able to move around in a Linux environment. As a judge, it was very important for me to be fully conversant in it so I could see what they did and what they tried to do and where I could give them partial credit and where they got 0 credit. Get the idea. It was a fun and interesting thing. I have worked Skills USA competitions before. They were much easier, much more physical than this. For instance, I did one in Louisiana a couple of years ago where we had a big square round table set up and there was a bunch of hardware on there. I think I got one of them back there behind me behind the curtain. And it had a number beside it, right? Number 3. And then just had a list of 43 numbers. And they went to item number 1 and wrote down what item number 1 is, literal hardware things. There were some that they didn't get that I was shocked and stunned by. And some of them, we had some pretty challenging equipment that I was equally shocked that anybody could know that one, and somewhere in between. So that stuff's really easy to judge. I got a list of 43 items. I know what they are. And I just check off, did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? Spelling is atrocious. But this one was deep, man. This was deep. So while we were planning on doing the 3rd installment of Help Desk ticketing systems last Friday, because of the trip to Atlanta, that got postponed till today. We're back on track today. Today, part 3 of the Help Desk ticketing software. Part 1 was, what do you need to know about it for the new CompTIA exam, specifically Core 2, 1102, 220.1102. Part 2, 2 weeks ago, how to install Ubuntu on Raspberry Pi, and then how to install osTicket on that installation of Ubuntu. Today, with, I don't want to say help, with guidance from our guest SMEs from EnhancedSoft, Chloé Bowman, who's the parent organization developer osTicket. She's going to walk us through how to do initial configuring, talk about some of the kinds of things that can be configured, and time permitting, run us through a ticket. So a ticket generation, how it gets followed through the system, how it gets escalated. It's going to be really interesting. Did that. All right, let's check messages here. And then I got news, tricks, and techniques of the week. How are we doing here? 24, that's fine. I'm moving along a little bit quickly so I don't have to talk too much, because it hurts. Reading questions. Lester is with us. Andre. When you have an interview for a help desk job, but you have no experience or certs, what are some of the selling points someone with no experience can talk about in order to convince them to take a chance? Okay. Well, I got a couple things to say about that. I have 3. First of all, Beg your pardon. We have a guest expert on interviewing for first-time tech jobs coming up. Her name is Stephanie, and I met her in Atlanta, where one of the things that you had to do for the competition was to go through an interview, show your interview skills. And she had some fantastic feedback for, in general, not about specific individuals, about things to do, know, and say. And I was just bowled over and said, you know what, our people need to hear that, our audiences. So I checked with Mike and checked with her, and we are going to bring her on Mike's show. So she's going to give you a much fuller, better answer than I'm about to. Now, what I'm going to tell you is a couple of things. Turn every experience that you have, spin it, twist it, don't lie, but spin it into, this dovetails right into your position that you're offering. You need someone who can do telephone technical support and explain to people in simple terms. Well, I do that all the time. I do it with family. I do it with friends. They'll call up, hey, please help me with this. And you actually do it, right? When you get with your family members, get with your friends, make yourself available to provide all kinds of support. If that means going over to a friend's house and work on their system with them, or have them bring their system over to you. Turn every experience, and if it's not direct hands-on related experience, close related, even unrelated experience. You know what? I've never done telephone technical support to solve an operating system. But in my former career as a service technician for radiological hospital equipment, I had to do the same kind of stuff. I have the same customer communication skills. Okay, right? So turn everything. You don't have to have the experience that they want. We're hiring as a first tier person who's never done technical support, telephone technical support, computer technical support, and we want you to have a year's experience doing telephone technical support as first tier your PC, right? It just doesn't work. All you're going to get there is a lateral job changer who's going to stay with them for a few weeks while they look for the next upgrade in job. So take your existing experiences from anything else that you do that's got a skill match for what they're doing. And don't sit on your laurels right now. Look for opportunities. Look for sample interview questions online for technical jobs, for support jobs, for whatever. And then go find ways to do those things to the best of your ability, or to get close. Again, might be a different skill set as far as what you're actually supporting. But that's what I got for now. But wait till we get Stephanie on. I'm ready to pull the trigger. Stephanie's ready to pull the trigger, but Mike's got travel schedule things going on, and things are kind of in flux right now with just what we're going to do over the next 2 weeks, right? He's going to do his Monday show here. I can't get anybody in on July 4th. Then July 11th, we got Elaine Batzer, who's scheduled to be in studio. However, Mike is going to travel to Colorado for his next grandchild, his first granddaughter, on the 9th. So he's going to do a remote from over there. I don't know if he's going to do it live and direct, or if he's going to go through my Zoom or whatever. And then I don't know how long he's planning on staying out there, but as soon as I get him back, I will get Stephanie online to talk about this stuff. All right, I dragged that answer out. Sorry about that. Okay, let me say the third thing I wanted to mention. I was on the EnhancedSoft website today, just looking up some things I might want to talk about on the show. And I've been on their site many times, and I never looked at their careers thing. And so I clicked on that to see what kind of positions they were supporting. And in one of their opening paragraphs, it this really cool thing. It said, "We hire aptitude, not experience." So maybe that's a direction to go, to say, look, I don't have every piece of experience that you want. I've got some stuff. I've got some related stuff. But what I bring to the table that I may not meet all of your criteria is skills. I know how to support operating systems. I know how to not only replace a hard drive, but to talk somebody through replacing a hard drive. Okay, aptitude, the ability to, the fact that you have learned things and that you can apply them and continue to learn more. Maybe that's not what everybody's looking for, but I would definitely include that in my interview presentation. And always be honest in your interviews, and never say no or I can't. Now when I say never say no, there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know, but never stop there. How would you, I don't know, but I know how to do this and I can learn how to do that. Okay, but absolutely acceptable to say I don't know. Maybe you get the idea that when they ask you 10 questions and 9 times out of 10 you said I don't know, maybe that's not the target for you yet. However, you should be making notes when you're interviewing. Maybe you're recording it, do whatever. So the next time that comes up in another interview, these are some questions you're probably going to get and you have prepared answers. Yeah, you pingers. I know I can get pinged by DM, but I got the servers de-pinged over there. Make yourself available to help friends and family, says Andre. Absolutely. If they have Apple devices, yeah, there's nothing to help. Sorry. Get them a hammer for that. I got a muzzle. I love the pull the trigger analogy. Sorry, it's just my thing. Hey, you're here, Mrs. Rush. Do me a favor. Back porch. On the terracotta pots, you'll see a interestingly damaged tablet, white tablet. Would you bring that in? And if it explodes or starts burning in your hand, throw it out in the yard or the grass or whatever it may. I want to show you something kind of fun. You can fix Apple. You know how you fix Apple? Take it to the Genius store. It takes special skills. It takes special tools. Especially when you say, okay, software, different animal. No need for anti-malware software. Just cut it out with a sharp knife. What I can tell you, people are making me crack up. It's horrible. Yeah. Replacing a hard drive is fun, says Andre. Sorry, I gotta. Gotta do that. Cloning hard drives, SSDs is something I have to do pretty often. Thank you. Because people don't want to part with their old computers. Okay. I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this in the show. I think I did 2 weeks ago. There are no major computer vendors, HP, Dell, Lenovo, that have any laptops or notebooks in their current lineup in 2022 that has a hard disk in it. They all have SSDs, and expect that everybody to adopt in really short order. Well, Shaw, how about transferable skills for a pilot? You know, I got hired here because of my transfer. CRM. Okay, right? CRM is a critical skill. We call it cockpit resource management, but it's resource management. It's how to take advantage and manage all of the resources at your disposable. In our cases, it was people and equipment, people on the ground, people in the back, physical things, whatever the case may be. But you can do computer resource management, support resource management. I could tell a user if it's their fault without being rude, like late chop. That means heck a bumpy ride. I like DD Wash. The only thing worse than a worm in an apple is half a worm. Stop it. I hate you all. I don't. I love you to death. Lithium ion batteries. As they age, their chemistry does some really creative things. And sometimes that chemistry can cause them to grow stalactites and stalagmites. Stalactites, those are from above. Stalagmites from below. And sometimes they'll grow so much that they will cause the battery to swell. This one has swollen so much, it looks like a dome in there. I'm sure you can't see that very well, but I can't close this. It is so badly swollen. I'm actually concerned at any given moment that it's going to catch fire. So I just wanted to show you that real quick. And now I'm going to ask my missus to take it back out because a burning lithium ion battery is just, ugh. I touched something. I thought I got shocked or burned. I couldn't tell. Back where it was would be great. Thank you. Okay. Where are we at here? 35. Got plenty of time. Let's get our contest out of the way. Well, let's see. Any new questions here? Yeah. All right. So let's get contest out of the way. What do we got for turnout? Anything? I keep changing this screen. I used to be able to see, whatever. I don't know how many people are here, and I don't care. We're going to do a contest for 90-day free access to Total Tester Online. That's the practice test, our online practice test. I'm going to allow any winner today because I don't know how many people are here. I see a few new faces, but mostly old timers. So slightly toxic if it starts burning. Yeah, it's lithium. Of course, you inhale lithium and suddenly your mood just gets nice and even. It's a little pharmacological joke. All right, we're going to do a contest. We're going to do the same kind of contest that I always do so it's fair to everybody. We're going to do a random number guess. I selected a range of numbers at some time ago, put it in my list, ran it through a random number generator and said, give me a random number between this number and that number. It spit one out. All you have to do is guess it or be the closest guess to it without going over. You will get 3 efforts to do that. Do it please on 3 different, maybe MG be with you. What am I missing there? Milligrams. Yes, maybe MG be with you. Anyway, you're going to get 3 guesses, not all on the same line. Closest to wins. Oh, let me prep all my my how to collect your winning, how to claim your thing. Tempest voucher winners. It's here. It's right here. Okay, that's safe. All right, ready? Yeah, exactly. Just inhale the fumes. It's all good. RNG. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Sorry. It's amazing how R and N on my font here, because I keep the chat window so small, comes up as MG. Got it. Thank you for capitalizing that. It would have been out of range anyways, Will. All right, so I'm going to give you 2 numbers. You give me a guess between those 2 numbers. Closest to without going over wins. And here we go. Range is between 100 and 700. 100 and 700. 3 guesses. Closest to without going over wins. Anybody can win. If you won before, you can win again. It will be fun. Have to answer first. Again, anybody fair game. Andre passes without even a guess, huh? Good Lord, Catherine Legrand. You're the first one that popped up on my list. I'm not calling it out. That's the number, huh? Let me see. What is that number? Okay. So there's the closest one so far. First one is always the closest one, right? By definition. And then somebody gets closer or farther away. Sorry, making notes here. All right, looking for closest number. How many people are going to guess 666? Okay, I got a closer one than the one I came up with previously. And I got to tell you, the number that I picked previously, I didn't think anybody could possibly get closer, and yet it happened. So I'm reading answers here, reading submissions, another 20, 30 seconds. Let's say 30 seconds, so we can be fair here. Okay. Reading answers. That's right, Will Shaw. Oh my gosh. There's a number in here that's 1 over Some people are doing the same guess multiple times. That's different people. Okay. Hey, King Well is back. Nice to see you, my friend. DP is here. Andre takes a flyer at the game. 100 pass, huh? That would be an interesting number. It is inclusive. How we got here? Okay, so we are past. Last guess was Andre de Goyert's 43. That's the last one I'm going to accept. I have a winner, and let me put that on my little handy. Oh, you such a goober. I'm talking to myself because I'm an idiot. Man. All right, let's get this fixed. Do this over there. Goodness my gracious, I'm dumb as a post sometimes. All right, that's what I want. Put that there, put that there. And all right, the number that my random number generator came up with was 670, 670. So right, the first guess was 666. I thought, how is anybody going to get any closer than that? And sure enough, there were some guesses with 667. If I were saying, yeah, I won too many times, then I would have rejected the first person that I saw with 667 and given it to the second. However, the second's also a fairly recent winner. So Andre de Goyert, 238, your guess of 667 is the winning guess. Congratulations, Andre de Goyert wins 3 months access, 90-day access to the total tester of his choice. I have it, the submission rules submitted, posted in the YouTube feed. You know how this game works. You're going to send me an email to daver@totalsim.com. You're going to put 4 things in the body of the email: your YouTube name, it's case sensitive, by the way, your real name, the address, the email address that you want me to send your contact information to, your access information to, and the test that you're going to study for by test number, right? So N10008, SY0-601, whatever the case is. You passed before it started. Didn't count. You know what? Fine. Fine. I'll do it. Cinderfly, you are a fairly recent winner, but I'm going to give it to you. Andre did pass in advance. That's fair. Cinderfly, just follow the instructions. Oh, goodness gracious. Can I pull this off? At Cinderfly. Okay. There, I just posted instructions to you. Now let me find your entry here so I can put it in my winner notes. There they are. Cinderfly, you are the winner today. You guys make me work too hard. I'm an old man. I'm sick and dying. Don't do this. Not that page. I gotta put it over on this document. Voucher winner document. Okay. So we're changing out Andre for Cinderfly. There we go. It's fixed. It's saved. Okay, done with that. Congratulations, Cinderfly, with your 667 guess. It was immediately after Andre's. Andre, I would normally have ignored your pass, but you and I have communicated recently that you are swamped. You don't have time to pursue another study and certification right now, so I'm going to let that go. Would have been wasted. Somebody else could have taken advantage of it. Catherine Legrand, also a 3-way tie. Sorry, give it another shot. So if you didn't win today, not to worry. Come back again on Monday and watch Mike give one away. Come back again on Wednesday and watch Mike give one away. Come back again next Friday and watch Dave give another one away. And I am beating Mike around the head and neck mercilessly to get him to do what he needs to do. It's very simple. He and I can crank it out in 30 minutes and get vouchers going again. It will happen. Mike is a very busy guy with the new responsibilities of his new job, and he's going to be especially guilty, busy with new grandchild arriving. So how are we doing here? Okay, that's 444. I'm expecting our guests sometime in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. So let's see what else is going on in notes, if anything. Oh, here, I'll tell you what, I'm going to repost the Discord link and the specials link. If you didn't win today and you need a product, pick up the bundle. It's very inexpensive. You get 50% off by go to totalsum.com. Pick up the ebook and Total Tester bundle for the study material of your choice, as listed at $245. And you can still get it very cheap. It's not as free as winning it, but you get the idea. Let's repost the Discord invitation. And just for the heck of it, let's post the link for PyR Square. And I tell you what, whilst we're killing time, because that's basically what I'm doing right now. Oh, I didn't do tricks and techniques of the week. Cool, I can get to that. News yesterday broke. 3 new members of the Raspberry Pi Pico family. So up until now, if I got a Pico nearby, I should have grabbed one. Up until now, there's a new offering from the nice folks at Raspberry Pi. Let me get my screen up so I can see myself. This little circuit board here, Raspberry Pi, comes as a bare circuit board with no headers or anything like that. I soldered on 40 pins, and cool. No, I managed to get it right, which I can't always say for all of my soldering jobs. And it's $4. Well, I'll tell you what, something really cool happened. Add $1 to that, and they now have a model with pre-soldered headers, all 40 of them ready to go for $5 on a Raspberry Pi Pico. Now remember, this isn't a computer, it's a microcontroller. It's programmable. You use it to get information in on some of the pins through sensors, to send information out some of the pins to anything that can receive that information. The new one, they've got 3 new models. One is the Pico H model, H for headers. They have the Pico W model. It comes with a wireless interface on board. So it's a great IoT device. And it's not shipping yet, but the WH model, both wireless and headers. And there's a new feature on all of them. There's 3 little solder blobs under my finger right now. And those are connections that you would have to solder something onto for a serial port. So you can communicate with this thing via serial. Well, they've replaced that or soldered on a jack. And so their models come with a serial port, JTAG, goes by different names, jack. And the difference between that and a version without the jack is 25 US cents. So getting one without it is ridiculous. As soon as they came out, I went online to order. I did manage to order a pair of units with headers. Everybody was instantly sold out of the wireless version, so I pre-ordered those. Hopefully a couple of weeks on those. But I love playing with Raspberry Pi Picos. They're more for electronics-oriented folks, but they can do things non-electronic. People are putting screens on them. You can turn them into little computers. But they're very cheap. The wireless model is either $6 or $7, something like that. I paid more in shipping for both orders. And like everything from Raspberry Pi, short order, there's supply chain issues. So everybody's got clampdowns on how many you can order. There's a lot of places that will only let you order one. I found one, Vilros, that let me order 2. I think it was, I don't remember, Chicago Supply or whatever. Just go to the Raspberry Pi site, raspberrypi.com, and look them up, and then they'll give you the distributors and authorized dealers in your country, and it'll link directly to their sites. You can order from them. Should also mention that I got into a little bit of a ugly contest. Hey, I saw my screen flash, so I'm thinking we got guests coming on. Let me finish this real quick, and then we will welcome our guests. I'm not going to do that story because of this. Yeah, $5 for the headers, $7 for wireless headers when that comes out. Total Seminars has international vouchers now for 50 different countries. So if you're watching this from outside the US, or Puerto Rico or Canada, you're in some other country where testing is available, we got discount vouchers. Just go to totalsim.com. You'll see the link right there on the main page. Find out if your country is one of the 50 that we offer vouchers in. I do want to show you one other toy here before we get to our guest. I ordered a hat for Raspberry Pi. These are good for any Raspberry Pi from 0 through 4. There's millions of different hats out there, but this is one that I needed, and it was very inexpensive, something on the order of 10, 12 bucks. This is a USB 3.2 Gen 1 USB hub hat. So this hub, we mount this on a Raspberry Pi, and then there's an adapter that hooks from this hub to the port on the one of the USB ports on the Raspberry Pi. Of course, this goes into the GPIO port, and there is a power connector here because this thing has the ability to power 4 USB 3 devices, the 10 gigabits per channel devices. So if you're going to have things that are power hungry there, and they usually are if we're talking about USB 3, here's Bowman. Good toy. Hey, everybody, I would like you to meet my good friend. We have been friends for decades now, right? I've known you for 23 years, something like that. This is Chloé Bowman of EnhancedSoft, who wears many hats there. I didn't, when we talked, I didn't find out which hat you would like me to introduce you as. So why don't you come on in and tell us a bit about you and EnhancedSoft, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, hello everyone. So my name is Chloé Bowman and I'm the controller of Chaos here at EnhancedSoft. We also have here Peter Rotich, who is the creator of osTicket, as well as the CEO at EnhancedSoft. Also have Kevin on the line, who is a lead software developer as well.
Outstanding.
So osTicket was created in 2003 by Peter whenever he released it as a free open source software. And then 10 years later, after a high demand from our customers who wanted to use the software but didn't want to host it on their own, he expanded the company and created Support System, which is just the cloud hosted version of osTicket. And then osTicket is created to be an email-based help desk platform that allows for transparency and accountability in daily operations with companies. So, so hey, Peter and Kevin. And then
hello, Peter. Hello, Kevin.
Hello.
Peter, so before you were a CEO, you were a coder? You developed this all?
Yeah, so I started out, I was born and raised in Kenya, by the way, so I have a little bit of an accent. It's not a Louisiana thing, but
your English is better than mine.
But I was born and raised in Kenya, and I got a chance to come to college at Tulane, and so I started out as a C backend developer, and I came to the US, I didn't even know how to type, right? That's kind of the story behind the scenes, and so I worked for a company that asked me to write a script to fetch emails from an inbox, right? So I ended up getting excited about that and thinking email is a really, really good communication tool, but it's a horrible collaboration tool. So I wanted to build collaboration on top of email, and that's really what the genetics of osTicket is. And it wasn't intended as a company, it was just an open source project that blossomed into really, really popular open source application. And you'll be amazed how many companies use it, and we love it. And Kevin, Chloé, and the rest of the team, they've been really super helpful pushing the concept of open source / paid version.
That's wonderful. And I got to tell you, I spent a fair amount of time on your website, and of course, in the Who We Are section. Everybody, I could have picked you out of a lineup. If a crime had been committed, I'd say, yep, that's Chloé. Yep, that's Kevin. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Gavin, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself if you don't mind? So Chloé can go ahead.
Kevin, you're muted.
Oh, I was waiting for him to catch that.
So I'm Kevin Thorne. I'm a senior software developer here at EnhancedSoft. Joined about 2015, 2016, something like that. So I've been here a couple of years. Started off as like a front end type person doing, UI and graphics and stuff like that, but then slowly transitioned to the back end where I'm now like the full developer. I do front end, back end, all of it. So
Okay, so I guess the question for both Peter and Kevin, Peter develops, I presume, because you started working in C, the product is developed in C, and is it continually under its current iteration C developed?
No, actually, it's not C developed. So I was more like a backend developer, learning, doing C, C++, and then the web was coming about. If you remember early 2000, that's really when the web came about and PHP came about. So my concept when I created this was to learn front end, which I never learned, by the way. I'm really a back end kind of guy. The front end now, you compile the front end, and the back end, you don't compile. Like, it's so confusing to me right now, even thinking about how everything works now in terms of the front end tool set. But I really chose PHP on purpose because I wanted a mom and pop shop sign up for GoDaddy basic account. It's already including PHP and MySQL. And you get people like, why didn't you do it in Python or Ruby on Rails, and all these kind of situations. And my response to that has been, hey, if you need somebody to be distributed, you better build a tool that people don't need to install other things to install it, right? So basically, shared hosting was able to run osTicket, and that was really a good distribution thing that pushed us to the masses.
That's a fantastic decision, especially for me. I spent months trying to find a product that I could install on a Raspberry Pi, and I couldn't. Now, there was a number of Ubuntu installations for Raspberry Pis, but they had the older version of PHP, version 7. You need version 8, and I've tried every twist and crank to get 8 to function on there, and eventually abandon it. And then finally, by miracle, Ubuntu actually put out their own self-ported version with current repositories that included PHP 8. And when I went to install it the first time, it took 30 minutes. Boom, 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 done, done, done. And that's the whole OS installation and the osTicket installation. And I installed it about 12 more times just to make sure that it was repeatable and consistent. It absolutely is. So wonderful decision on your product, and just a wonderful product. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, let me add one thing here. The osTicket, I think, what does it mean to be osTicket? What's the name of the product, right? So osTicket, started like open source ticketing system, really. And I first called the product I wanted to do my TTS, which was like my trouble ticketing system, which was kind of the concept of MySQL kind of thing. And even the kangaroo thing, people think we're based in Australia, but we're not. And the reason is everybody had a mascot, right? In 90s and early 2000s, and MySQL had a dolphin, and everybody had this, animals, and somehow just chose a kangaroo by default, and it would be known as kind of the kangaroo Helpdesk,
I like it. It was a question I actually had in my interview list, so thanks for getting ahead on that one.
Okay.
Well, so what we've done, guys, is we've done an installation of osTicket on Ubuntu on a Raspberry Pi, and the last step of the installation has been created, enough that we could test excuse me, open up the web page to an unconfigured osTicket. And in speaking with Chloe, our plan was she's going to kind of walk through what you need to do to get things started, and create agents and create classifications and all that other good stuff. And time permitting, then, depending on how quick that all goes, we're going to create a ticket and follow it.
Okay, so to get started, if you wanted to go ahead and if you could open up the client portal of the help desk.
I will.
And then you can also, if you want to, open up another tab of the agent side of things, the staff control panel.
Well, there's an interesting thing. I'm not sure that I'm not. Let me start with this.
So the staff control panel is just the URL to your help desk, followed by /SCP for staff control panel.
Okay.
And then to get to the client side, it's just that URL minus that SCP.
Right. Now, when I open up the tab to the client side with nothing but the IP address, since it's never been installed or configured, it takes me to whack setup, whack install PHP.
Oh, okay, guys, how do I get to this point then?
So I'll get you there. Stand by. So this is 104 whack SCP. Okay, yeah, so SCP won't get there yet. It takes you to the same place because it hasn't been set up yet.
Okay, I didn't know if we hadn't
so
got that far yet.
Yeah, I'll share this with you. Barely, I will. Share screen, this one. All right, and then if you will request control
Okay.
in your Zoom menu, I will give it to you, and you're in charge.
Okay, Gavin, do you want to go ahead and do the install?
Yeah. So you can click continue.
Yeah, I was going to turn over control to you or Chloe or anybody. Or
Hey,
you know what, I'll
Kevin,
click
you
continue.
can Kevin, you can get control real quick if you want to finish this part. I was trying to figure out how to get control. I'm not really sure.
On your Zoom client, there's a menu option somewhere. I did this on my wife's machine today to test it, and all you have to do is hit request control or remote control on that link line that's got mute and stop video and participants and chat and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Maybe it says remote control on yours. Yeah, we rehearsed this, guys. Why do you ask? Here, I'll tell you what, I'm going to click accept all requests. And then anybody who grabs this among you. And if you can't get there, then I'll just click and somebody can talk me through things.
I just don't have this option here. I
There we
don't.
go.
Oh, wait, here we go. I found it.
There we go. Waiting for Chloe Bowman to control your screen.
All right,
So
Kevin.
just click
So,
anywhere in the screen, that should, there you go.
all right.
All right, so she's clicked continue. I'm sorry. I moved
Kevin,
my
can
mouse
you
while
do
you're
this
doing it.
part? Can you do this part? Because I'm not sure how to fill this stuff in.
Yeah. Let's see. A request.
I think I might have to set up multiple people to control. Hang on a sec. Yeah, everybody can control. It's all yours.
Oh, perfect. All right.
All right, so this
will
help
be-
desk name, this is,
Yeah. By the way, David, you can name this if you want to name it something different for your installation, or we could just come
Yeah, I
up
like
with
it.
something like this.
okay.
So the default email, this will be your help desk email. So the email
Okay.
that people send.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah,
email
put something fake in there. Use that info@Proco Audio. That's a good one to play with. There we go.
Okay. So this is going to be your first name for the admin account.
Okay. You can
Is
make
this
it David if that R dot will confuse it.
Okay. All right. And then this will be your personal email address where you'll.
Okay, so use the
log in.
drush there.
Okay.
And for my username, I always use drushtx. And let's just use password for passwords, just to make it easy to remember.
All right. So this will be the database information. Do you have a database created yet? Or
Yes.
Okay. What will be
And
the
you're probably going to want the name of it, huh?
correct?
Blah, 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 blah. I can come up with that answer, but it'll take me a couple of seconds.
No problem.
Let me move this. Come here, you. All right, I may have knocked you out. This is special. Okay, got to go up one here and into here. Helpdesk ticketing system installation part 2. Right here. MySQL. I'm sorry. You know, one of the things I was going to ask you is the setup or the configuration portable? If you guys had set this up at your place, is that something that I could import?
Yes. So you can do a full dump of full MySQL dump of your database. You can import it into like a new server somewhere. And as long as you have the code files set up, you can just change the OST config file, which is our configuration file, and just
Okay.
point it to that database on the new server.
Nice. All right, yeah, I'm almost there. Really, I am. 10 minutes, Raspberry. Okay, MariaDB, secure it. Install and configure MySQL. There, you need one MySQL database, valid user password. You can run sudo apt update. Okay, secure it. So we installed it, MySQL secure installation, and set a root password, which is going to be Raspberry when we get there. We got rid of the anonymous users. And that made the secure setup, MySQL uroot, flush privileges, confirm it's working. Where the heck did we name it?
Yeah, so
go ahead.
So I'm thinking in
okay, I got it. Yeah, the database is osTicket_DB. Raspberry, RASPBERRY.
Make sure I spell that right. All right. Should go to the installation.
So guys watching this, if and when you do this, use that script that I created for the show 2 weeks ago. Sure, go ahead and save it and whatever. So you'll know the name of the database.
All right. So as Chloe mentioned, this will be the URL to your client portal. It would just be your top level domain. And then for the staff control panel, it would be the URL with SCP on the end.
Okay. So you can right click and open up another tab if you like on that.
And that one. And then we'll also open up this one.
So what I'm going to do is just kind of give a quick little overview of how the software works, and then we'll go through the initial configuration process of things. And then we'll, like he said, we'll go through the creation of a ticket and the life cycle of a ticket.
Cool. All right, so what's the email address here, not the username?
You can use
you
either.
Could use either one.
Okay. That's so cool. It's working. So I'm stealing the mouse for just a second here.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, you can have it back.
All right. Chloe, if you want to take over.
Yeah, so I'm going to start. Oops, something happened. Oh, I don't have control.
Request control, and then just click on the screen.
There you go.
Okay, sorry, it's taking a second for it to catch up with me. All right, so I'm going to actually start here on the client side.
That time.
Here. Okay, so you have a client portal available, which is optional. Tickets can be created from this client portal, or they can be created internally on the staff side, or they can also be created just directly via email. Or if you wanted to, we also have the ability to have a web form on your website and just use our API and have tickets created automatically that way. But just to start off here with this client portal, this is where you can direct people to come and open new tickets or check the status of their tickets. You also have the option to create a knowledge base with frequently asked questions if you want to put those on display for them. This page is customizable if you wanted to edit this landing page here, which I'll show you guys, as well as you can update your own logo. So to create a ticket, the first thing they're going to do is select open a new ticket. And you do have the option to determine if you want it to be open for everyone to create tickets, or if you want them to have to sign in and be registered to create tickets. You can also set up private registration as well if you want. But then just to show you guys, I'm just going to show you an overview of this ticket. We're going to go through the ticket creation process in a second, but once they fill out this ticket, based on the topic selected, that's going to determine what happens to the ticket. So we're going to set up automatic actions that are going to determine the department that the ticket is routed to, as well as optionally, if you wanted to have tickets automatically assigned to an agent or team. This can also allow you to set up an automatic SLA and other things like that if you'd like. So we're going to go through this ticket process creation after we configure things, but just to let you guys know, once they complete this ticket, they'll see a thank you page letting them know that the ticket was created. And then if you have alerts enabled, they'll also receive an email alert letting them know that their ticket was created with the link back to the ticket. And then the assigned agent or the agents that have access to that department can also be enabled to have alerts sent to them so that they're aware whenever that ticket is created.
Cool.
So
let me interrupt you for just a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just to let everybody know, once I started doing this and reaching out to find out if we could get somebody like Chloe or Kevin or Peter online, I went to their site and clicked their contact me, and it's their cloud version. What do you call it? Support?
Yeah, support system.
Support system. It's same thing as osTicket, except it's their cloud host, and that's what they use in-house as part of this communication tool. So I submitted a ticket that says I'd like to get in touch with somebody to be a guest SME, and they're using this product in-house to do things like this.
Yep, we do. We're in the help desk all day long. So the agent's going to get an email alert if they have them enabled, letting them know that their ticket was created and assigned to them, or a ticket is in their department. They're going to come to the staff side of things, and they're going to log in, and the first thing they're going to see is their ticket queue. So agents are only going to see tickets in the help desk if they have department access to. So if you wanted to separate the tickets based on the departments, that's something you can do. And when they log in, they'll just see those tickets. You can also adjust their permissions with each department as well. Also here you have a dashboard, which is a historical overview of the tickets in your help desk, which can be exported into a CSV file if you'd like. And you also have the option to perform an advanced search on tickets to pull tickets of certain criteria. So you can always search for a ticket by the user's email address or name, or maybe the ticket number, or you can perform an advanced search to really get detailed search criteria for anything that you're looking for. This can be good for different reports and things as well, if you wanted to set up certain timeframes or tickets of certain departments or topics, things like that. And any tickets that will be presented in that search can also be exported into a CSV file if you'd like, to include all of the tickets metadata, which is going to be the information on when the ticket was opened, who it was assigned to, any of the ticket field data that can be included in those exports.
Nice. So there's a tremendous amount of information that exists by default before you start adding custom departments and divisions and things like that. That's impressive.
Yes, and you can configure that export to only have as many fields as you would like to have on there. And then you have your user directory, which is going to hold all of the users in the system. Anytime someone sends in a ticket, either via email or from the portal, they'll automatically be added to your user directory. And if you want to, you can come back here and register their account. Registering them will just send them an email to let them know that an account's been created for them, and they can set up a password. And then when they log in, they'll have full access to their ticket history. Otherwise, they can just completely communicate with you via email if they want to, and they don't have to worry about going back to the portal at all once they create that ticket.
Nice.
And then you do have some tasks that you can create, which are a little to-do list that you can have for yourself or to assign to another agent or department to work on. You also can create tasks within tickets if it's something that needs to be accomplished for a specific ticket. So just giving you a little bit of an overview of how this workflow will work with the software. But now we can kind of go through the configurations that you will do right when you get started with the software. So just to note, the agent panel that we're in right now is a separate panel access. So some agents might only have access to this panel here to manage the tickets. And then a separate panel access is the admin panel to configure the configurations of the software. To get started, you're definitely going to want to go through your general ticket system settings here. This includes things like some default settings that you might want to review. Important is going to be the date and time options for your time zone, as well as your system languages. So if you wanted to have a different system language or wanted to add secondary languages, you can do that from here. Then you'll come into the ticket settings here. And this has some default ticket settings for tickets that are created. You also can create additional automations on tickets configurations later on with different things, but just for your basic default ticket settings, you have those available here. And then something important would be your autoresponder and your alerts and notices. So autoresponder are the alerts that are going to be sent to your user. So if you want those enabled, you'll come and enable those here. And then alerts and notices are the agent specific alerts. So there's a lot of different types of alerts that you can come and review and enable if you'd like to. Something
So
I didn't, go ahead.
I hope I'm not off topic here. We talked a couple of weeks ago, and again, just the other day at another show, about the different tiers of support, tier 0, 1, 2, and whatever. And we kind of focus a little bit on tier 0 automatic support or self-support. Is that something that we could put together here. They click on this, they click on this kind of a problem, and they get some automated spit back that says, these are the things that you should check. And if they work, then glad you solved your problem. And if not, then we'll escalate to tier 1.
Yes, that is possible. So you have something called canned responses available in the knowledge base section here. And these are pre-made replies that you can create. And tied in with ticket filters, which is a feature in the admin panel, you can create automatic responses to tickets based on their criteria. So based on the message and their body of the message, or based on the subject line, or based on fields filled out on the ticket form, you can automatically send off this canned response if it meets this criteria. That might solve their problem. The ticket can be closed, or they can come back and let you know if they need further assistance with it.
Very good. I'm going to steal your mouse for a minute and
yeah, go ahead.
See if I can clean up something here. To free up some memory, because you're coming in a little bit scratchy sometimes and it's my fault. Damn. You have 71 tabs open. Yes, close them all.
You sound like Kevin.
I
have
more than that.
Tabs.
Yeah, Kevin has 7,000 tabs.
Okay, so just re-request control again and it's all yours.
Okay.
Or click it again and you're probably already there.
Yeah, I think I do have it.
Okay.
Or maybe not.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Okay, something that I was going to mention as well on this ticket queue, the ticket queue that you see, you do have the option to customize your queue to put any columns on display of your choice. This can be ticket data or user data, and that is just going to be these columns here that are on display. So you can, if you wanted to add the organization here or the tickets department, you can have stuff like that set up. You can also customize the conditions if you wanted to flag tickets based on their criteria, if you wanted to change the font color or the background color, the style, things like that if you want.
Awesome.
All right. So after you set up the default system settings and ticket settings, as well as your alerts, the next important thing is going to be to configure your email. Once you configure your email through the system, anytime someone sends an email to that address, a ticket will be created automatically, and then your agent responses to that user will also come from that address. You can route as many emails through the system as you want to, and can have them routed to their own department as well. And you can have that set up for outgoing as well for each department.
Okay.
We're not actually going to set up an email today, but that would be an important step in getting your help desk configured. If you don't have an email set up, you can still use the client portal for ticket creation. It's just not going to actually be sending an email to anyone.
That makes sense.
And then the next thing that we're going to do is going to be to set up the departments of the help desk. So we're actually going to create some departments here. We do have some that are built in, but we'll just start with 2 new ones actually. Whenever you're creating your departments, all you really need to do is name it and then give your agents access to it. But you do have some customizations available if you wanted to review these and further customize it.
So if you guys are noticing this, there's this SLA system support. So this is one of the things that they can do. If your organization has an SLA with another organization, you can put the criteria that's being managed under the contractual obligations of the SLA, and that becomes a heck of a lot easier than reading an SLA and, oh man, we were supposed to do hour support, or we were supposed to manage routers within this kind of, make sure we update the firmware of the routers every month or whatever the case may be. So great tool for managing that.
And then, so I'm just going to create this one, and then we're going to create the second one. You could just have one department in your help desk if you wanted all agents to have access to that department. If you didn't want to separate your tickets, that's an option as well. All right, so now that I've created these departments, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my agents and give them access to the departments, as well as configure their permissions for the help desk.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, I think I know him. I've known him for decades. Peter, I'm going to use you. I'm just going to do a no email here.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to add him real quick. Oh, wait. I haven't done this in osTicket before, so I was really confused for a second looking at the screen.
You're going to need to add a username.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry, guys, I'm usually using support system. It's a little different on that side. So when you're adding someone, you are going to set up a primary department, which is just going to be the first department you're giving them access to, and you can then later give them access to other departments. The role is the permissions that they have within this department that is ticket specific. And these roles are configured up here in the roles section. You can create as many as you need to, and it really is just which permissions they have. So I'm going to give him all access.
It's kind of nice. If you screw it up, it tells you what you screwed up and what you need to fix.
Yes. And then I can also give him access to tier 2 support if I wanted to.
Oh, nice.
Which I will. All right. And then you also have some permissions here, which are going to be that aren't ticket specific. This can be related to the users, the organizations, and the knowledge base. So if you wanted to review and configure this for each agent, you could do that as well.
Excellent. So we should mention now a little bit about agents, which of course are the people who are responsible for managing the ticket, providing the support and whatever. And to review something you mentioned at the beginning, EnhancedSoft has two products. Their cloud-based support product, which is a paid product, and they charge on a per agent per month basis. So if you're running an MSP and you've got 5 agents, then you're going to pay 5 times whatever the fee is every month. And their fee is unbelievably inexpensive considering the fact that they're hosting and managing. It's, what'd you say, $9 a month, something like that?
Yeah, it's we have 3 different subscription levels. The main difference is going to be the attachment size limit per each attachment, as well as there are a couple of other plugins available with the premium level, but the pricing is $9, $12, or $16 per agent per month. Okay. We also actually offer a discount for annual subscriptions paid by card, which is going to bring it down to $8, $11, or $14. So
very cool. And then the osTicket, that's self-hosted, and it's I think Peter said open source, and correct me if I'm wrong, Peter, but irrespective, there is no fee if you're going to self-host and manage this internally.
Correct. It's 100% free to use osTicket. We do offer commercial support options if anyone wants to use us to have technical support ongoing throughout the year. So we do offer that as well.
Excellent. That makes total sense. Sorry, back on track.
Oh, no, you're good. Okay, so once we have our agents configured and we've configured their permissions in the help desk, optionally here, you do have the option to create teams, which is a group of agents for ticket assignment. So if you want to assign tickets to a team of agents, you can do that as well. Then the next thing that we're going to do is configure the help topics. So this is just going to be the type of ticket that's going to be created, a label for the type of ticket that's created. Something about these help topics is so you have a main ticket you have a main ticket form with your ticket fields that are associated with every help topic selected, but you also have the option to have custom fields associated with each help topic. So if there's a topic that requires specific questions, that's something you can do as well with these topics. I'm just going to go ahead and go through the process of creating 3 new topics for this little example, which I'm going to do hardware. Now, this new ticket options tab is going to determine which happens to the ticket automatically once it's created. So this is going to determine the ticket's department, most importantly. And then you also have the option to configure the SLA plan, the priority. You can auto assign it to an agent or to a team from here.
Oh, cool.
And then if you were going to add a custom form to this topic to have additional questions, you can also do that from the forms tab right here. Right. You would have that form available once it's created, which I'll show you guys in a second. So all these automations are set off on the ticket just based on the help topic selected. You also have ticket filters available, which is a feature that allows you to create other automatic actions on tickets just based on the ticket's criteria. Like I was saying with the canned responses earlier, you can have ticket filters that are triggered based on a lot of different criteria on tickets.
All right, so let me ask you a question while you're doing this next part. short of getting Chloé Bowman to join you on a Zoom meeting, this is a powerful and sophisticated and flexible product. How do you learn to use it and administer it?
So it just takes some time to go through the system, just kind of learn it. I think that for people who are going to be using the software, we do have a demonstration video available that goes through just an overview of how it works so that you get a good idea of how it works. And then we also have a video that goes through the setup process, just the main things that you need to do to configure it. As far as remembering where every little thing is, that might take a little bit of time to get used to, but as far as how it works and getting it off the ground, you can really get ready within an hour or two to get started using it.
Okay.
I would also like to mention we do have a documentation site that outlines all of the settings, what they do, and what it affects if you change them.
Yes.
Excellent. Thanks. And there's no problem with, we've been in operation for a year. We've got 1,000 customers and all of these features. And I want to add a new anything that you're demonstrating right now, new help topics, new whatever. No problem with that. They become blank fields in the existing records, right?
I don't understand that, Kevin. Do you?
So repeat that again. So if you want
Let's say we have an existing customer database, 1,000 people who've been our customers and clients for the last year. And suddenly something new comes up that we have to support for upcoming customers. So Chloe's doing 3 new things right now: hardware, software, and networking. And let's envision that another option comes up that we can now support operating systems. No problem adding that anytime later in the process. And those just become blank fields to the old customer records, right? Or they don't even matter.
Yeah,
So,
it wouldn't affect the old records, but it would there would be no problem at all if you add or even update or change some of the help topics or any.
Oh, wow. I didn't think about that. Okay, thanks.
okay, so now that we have our help topics created, we'll see these available later when we go through the ticket creation process. Now let's take a look at the fields on our ticket form. So there's a few different forms available here, including the ticket details form that's associated with every ticket, regardless of the topic selected. And then another important form is going to be the contact information form, which is that user profile information. So if there's any other information that you want to gather for the user, such as their location, for example, then you can add a field here to gather that.
So when they generate an email generated ticket, you can specify here mandatory fields and optional fields.
So for tickets created via email, I'm just going to take a look at this one right here. So you have some default settings that you can set on tickets created via email. And then based on the help topic selected, that'll determine the criteria for that ticket that comes in via email. You can also associate custom forms on a ticket that's already been created. So any custom forms that you can create, you can go in and edit the ticket and add that form and fill out those details for that ticket. The best way to, the way that you'll get fields filled out from the user would be to have them create a ticket on the portal so that they can go through and answer all those questions right away for you. And then it'll be available when the ticket's created.
Makes sense. Thanks.
So with these forms, coming back to this one right here. So anything that you want to add to the as a field, all you need to do is name it. And this is going to be the name that's going to be seen on the portal. And then you'll select the type of field that it is. So there's a lot of different field types available here. I'll just stop here for a second so you guys can read through. Or I don't know if you can read it really well, but we've got short answer, long answer, date and time zone, phone number, checkbox, choices field, file upload, a section break, and an information field. You also have some dynamic fields that are going to pull information from the system, such as the priority level, the department, and the assignee. And then, so choices field is used for just a few choices to have. If you want to have an extensive list of things to choose from, like a long drop-down box, you'll create a list over here. And then that list will be available as a custom list to choose from. For example, if I wanted to have a list of locations, I would then just click my location list and it'll be a drop-down available for that field. For now, I'll just make this short answer to put in the location. And when you're adding these, you can also configure if it's required, if it's visible for the user or only for the agents, things like that as well. And then coming to the ticket form.
I'm sorry about the audio, guys. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay, so for the ticket fields, I was thinking that we could do something like device type.
Sure.
So if you want to ask them which kind of device they have, and then
Yeah.
ask them a question. And this device type could be a list of devices to choose
Wow,
from.
yeah, you could really create a flow chart here.
You'll add 2 fields at a time and save changes, and then it'll present more fields to add. You can give them the priority level to choose. This isn't going to actually set the ticket's priority level. It's just going to give them their option to set a priority, and the agent can then change the ticket's priority based on that if they want.
Sure.
And you could add something like this, support needed by, and you could give them a time and date picker, for example.
Oh, okay.
So they could let you know when they need support by. So this is just an example.
And the answer to that is always yesterday.
Yes, 10 minutes ago. And then just to give you a little overview on the custom forms, it's going to be the same concept. It's just going to be a blank form. So
Okay.
let's say that I had a custom form for tier, or actually this one's for, let's say I had a custom form for software. You'll just name it, add your fields to it like normal, and then select add form. And then you can associate this with the help topic, or we can associate it with a ticket directly, or even with the user's profile if we wanted to.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll see that it's available here. I'm just going to go ahead and add this. Okay, so now that, oh no, go ahead. What are you saying?
No, you're fine. Keep cooking.
Okay, so now that we've configured the forms for the user and for the ticket, we have everything that we need to get started with the ticket creation process, but there is 2 more things that I wanted to go through. To configure the landing page for the client portal, you'll come to pages and come to the landing page here. So this is going to be that main body of text that's seen on the client portal. So you'll probably want to configure this before you get started. And then also there's the thank you page, which is the first message they'll see when they create a ticket. So you might want to review and edit this message as well before you get started. And then lastly, the main important thing to configure if you want to is going to be the plugins. So any plugins that you install from osTicket will be available here to configure if you would like.
Okay.
So now we can just go ahead and get into the ticket creation process. So like I was saying, tickets can be created in multiple ways. To start here, if I wanted to, I could create a ticket internally like an agent. You can just search for the user's email address or create a new profile for them here.
That was interesting because I had sent you guys a message way back to start this process and got lost in the shuffle. So I called your VP, Maria?
Karen,
yes, I called Karen one day and she said, stand by, give me your email address. And so this is what you must have done to look up my initial contact info.
Yes. Which I don't actually think that we had an initial ticket from you. I'm not sure what happened with that because I wasn't able to find that.
Okay.
So they'll fill out this ticket form if they would like to. We can do it here, or we can create it on the client portal here, but it's going to be the same information, except whenever the agent is creating a ticket internally, they can go ahead and set the department, the SLA plan, the due date. Whereas with the user, they're just going to select their help topic and then fill out the fields and the issue summary and details.
Cool.
And then when they're creating the ticket, they could go ahead and close it if they would like to, or assign it to another agent or team to work on. But let's go through the user side of things. Just going to refresh this page since we have made changes now. Okay, so the first thing they're going to do is fill out their email address. And their name. And this information will be stored in their user profile, and your agents can always review and edit this information if they need to.
Okay.
And then I'll set my location. Then the next thing they'll do is select the topic. So let's say that I'm having a software issue and I want to click this topic. You'll see that since I added that custom form to software, I now also have the software section for an additional custom field that's specific to this topic. Whereas
Sure,
if
that's so cool how quick that all integrates.
yes, and if I clicked a different topic, that wouldn't be there.
Sure.
So the next thing they'll do is just fill out the ticket. So why are they creating the ticket?
Okay. Same reason we always create tickets.
And they'll just fill out any of the fields that you have here. I didn't mention you can also set any of these fields to required if you need to where they have to fill it out. And you also on this page can enable CAPTCHA if you want them to fill that out as well before being able to create a ticket.
Okay.
And this could be like a drop down of yes or no instead of short answer. I meant to do that.
Right. It's an iPhone. It's low priority.
I didn't.
iOS. Okay, Apple. Doesn't matter.
Okay, so now that they have filled out everything, they can just select create ticket. And like I was saying, they'll see that thank you page that you have here. And if alerts are enabled, I would also get an alert letting them know that letting me know my ticket was created with the link back to it. And the agents would also get an alert if you have those enabled. Now, for me as the user, I can completely communicate with you via email if I wanted to moving forward. I don't have to come back to this ticket portal at all. But if I wanted to, I could either come back and open up this one ticket to review, or I can sign in and review all of my ticket history. And you have the ability to configure this to make it a little more restricted if you want to, but you could have it open to where they'll just enter in their email address, enter in that ticket number, and it'll either open up this ticket or it'll email them a link to open up the ticket through their email. And it'll have that one ticket for them, or they can sign in to their account and review all of their ticket history of open and closed tickets.
And I see an option there that says, I'm an agent, sign me in. So let's say I'm checking into work today, I'm an agent, and overnight 10 tickets got generated. Is that something that I see when I log in as an agent? Here's all the ones in your queue.
Yes.
Okay.
So whenever you're an agent, you're going to come over here to the staff control panel. Agents will typically log in every day, and the first thing they're going to see is just this ticket queue of all of the new tickets that are open that they have department access to. And you also have assigned tickets. So if you wanted to just review your assigned tickets, that's something you can do as well if you wanted to have that separate.
Very cool.
I'm just going to see for this. Can you
There's the giant helping mouse.
What was your username again?
drushtx. Password is password. Yeah, I should remember right.
Okay, so I don't think that, we're on David's account. So this is an example of something that might happen. You need to make sure you have access to all of the departments. So when we give David access, he'll then see these tickets in the help desk.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, so now we see that there's this new ticket here from me, and we'll click on it and open it up. Now, if this wasn't assigned to anyone, but an agent comes in and says that they want to work on this, they could claim it if they want to. Oops. Here, and it'll then assign that ticket to them so that other agents know that I've claimed this for myself to work on. You do have ticket locking, by the way. So if two agents are working on the same ticket at one time, it'll throw a lock to the second person, letting them know someone else is already working on it.
Okay.
So reviewing the ticket here in the ticket header is going to include any of those ticket fields so that you can review that information that they've submitted. And you can also click on these fields and edit them if you need to.
Okay.
Also goes for any of the fields in this ticket header up here at the top. So you can just click on any of those to make changes. You can also just click this edit icon to fully edit the ticket at once.
Sure, that makes sense. A user puts in device type iPhone, and we might need something more specifically, like an iPhone 10 or 11 or whatever.
Yes.
So,
and then scrolling down here, or actually coming up here to the top, you do have some different actions that are available on tickets, and these actions are permission based. So you can remove the ability to edit the ticket, or as far as these permissions, you can remove the ability to delete tickets or ban emails, things like that.
Nice.
There are some actions available here that I wanted to note. You do have the option to merge tickets together or link tickets together if you would like to.
Okay.
Merging them will merge 2 tickets into one thread, and then linking will just provide a link to them.
Makes
Merging
sense.
is permanent though.
Okay. Yeah.
So you'll review this message here, and you can go ahead and respond to it, or maybe you need to post an internal note and assign it to another agent, or maybe you want to create a task on this ticket. A task is just going to be an internal to-do list that you have either for yourself to complete this ticket, or maybe something you want to assign to another department or team or agent.
There you go. Okay.
And these tasks will always be listed up here in the task tab as well when you're reviewing all tasks. The system will
So
keep
this
track.
is pretty much where you live as an agent.
Yes. As an agent, you're going to stay pretty much in the agent panel, just reviewing the tickets, responding to them, reviewing the tasks, responding to those. That's going to be the main thing that you're going to do daily as an agent.
Cool.
The system will mark every response or an action with a time and date stamp so that you know which agent is doing what in the help desk, who has made a configuration change on this ticket, or a ticket details change. It'll mark all of that information here. And then just to give you an example of an internal note, I could post this message and the user will not see this message, only the agent will. And it is in like a little light yellow box, so you'll be able to see the difference between your responses between agents and users and those internal messages. And then here in the response box, agents can go ahead and add or remove collaborators at any point if they need to. When they're looking at this response box, they can send a canned response if they need to. Here's just an example of a canned response. So that pre-made message that you fill out, these can include attachments if you want. And then they'll respond to the user if they need to right now. Whenever they're posting their response, they can also go ahead and close the ticket if they want to, or they can leave it open and just wait for the user to respond to continue working on this ticket.
What's the difference between those last two, resolved and closed?
Yes, I was going to mention that. So closing a ticket, when you close it, if the user responds again to that ticket, it'll reopen the ticket again so that you're aware that there's been a response. But maybe it's a ticket that you definitely want to keep closed. You want to open up a new issue next time they respond. You will set it to resolved. And when the user responds to that same ticket again, it'll just create a new ticket with a reference to that original ticket number so that you're aware.
Got it.
But it's just a way to kind of permanently close a ticket.
Well, you know, guys and women who are watching this, I don't know how closely this jives with your personal experiences, but I am seeing things in here that I have encountered in the real world and never really kind of put it together that it's all part of a big help desk system. I'll open up a ticket with my ISP and we'll do back and forth and they'll close it and I'll respond and say, no, it's not closed. We haven't done with this. And so this is really eye-opening for me. Thank you, Chloe.
I'm so happy to hear that. Okay, so let's say that I just want to post this response. Now the user will get an email alert letting them know that I've updated their ticket, and they can either respond back to me through their email or they can go back to the ticket and open it up and respond. Whenever you're ready to close the ticket, you can just change the status to closed.
And that message was an internal, it looked like.
It was actually a message. It's just a little bit of a different color. It's an orangish box instead of the light yellow, which you'll be able to tell when you're looking at it.
Okay.
And let's say that I made any changes on this ticket just to show you what that would be like. And let's say that I wanted to update the SLA on this ticket, which will adjust. Well, we only have one right now. But
all right, but if we'd had multiple, you could have selected another.
Yes.
Slick. It's an incredibly powerful and sophisticated system. Kudos to Peter and Kevin and all the rest of the folks who are coding this, and all of you guys who are coming up with the ideas and the improvements. It's a knockout.
So whenever you make changes on a ticket, I was just going to show you how it will mark everything with a stamp so that you know everything that's going on in the system.
Okay.
And you also have the option if you want to on a ticket to change the user. So if you need to change it to a different user, you can do that from here.
Okay.
And then if a user belongs to an organization, you'll also see their organization listed here for easy access to that organization.
Sure.
Besides doing an advanced search and exporting tickets, which will just export the ticket's metadata, which is this information up here. You
Okay.
can also download a ticket as a PDF if you wanted to have that entire ticket in the thread by selecting this print icon here.
That's
I
just
might have
amazing.
frozen something, I'm not sure.
Refresh.
Here we go.
Okay. Now, to pull up this ticket again, if you wanted to look for it later on, you could just search in the search bar for the ticket number or for the user and go through their tickets, or you can just perform an advanced search based on any criteria that you're looking for that ticket, and it'll pull it up for you. I'm trying to think of anything else in the ticket lifecycle that I might be missing.
I think you have been very thorough here. We're getting to the point where we got to start our wind up process.
Okay.
Yeah, Chloé, maybe you can mention, like, the ticket moves from open to answered once you answer. So it kind of clears your queue. And then if you close it, it goes to a closed queue.
Yes. Okay. So whenever you're seeing your tickets in here that are opened, when you respond to it, it'll then be moved to the answered queue. Just so it's out of the way. And then whenever they respond back, it'll be brought back into the open queue.
Okay.
And that's also for closed tickets. They'll be moved to the closed queue. You can always click through and review those or reopen them if you need to. And then when the user responds, it'll be moved back. Something I also didn't mention is that you do have the option to create personal queues. As well as global queues. So I mentioned that you can customize the columns, but I actually didn't mention that you can customize the queues. So
Okay.
you can, if you wanted to, you could have a queue for each department of your help desk to kind of separate them, or agents can also create personal queues, which are only going to be visible to them. So an example of that, maybe you wanted to see all tickets assigned to a specific agent or all tickets with certain field criteria. You can have a personal queue that's always available here, with only tickets that meet the criteria that you set.
Very cool.
Okay, so we can go through that wind down process.
Okay. All right. I'm going to unshare this. Stop share. There we go. What a team. What a product.
Thank you.
You should be on the road conducting this as a day seminar class to all new customers. Now, I imagine on the support product, you're doing a lot of this on your user's behalf, on your agent's behalf. You get together with the company that's contracting through you or paying through you, and then you guys discuss what fields need to be created, what has to be in the tickets, and you're building all that, and they just use it.
So we actually don't build it out for them, but what we'll do is most companies will get on a call with and we'll learn how they're looking to use the software. We'll walk them through it like I did with you today. And then depending on what they're trying to accomplish, I'll just direct them on what they need to do to accomplish that, where it can be done, how it can be set up. And we can also go through and get on a call with them and help them with the setup if they need to, such as if they're having issues creating their forms, we can help them with the form setup and stuff like that. We're not going to go in and fully configure it, but we're here every step of the way for anything that you need while you configure it.
Very nice. Well, Mr. Rodich, incredible company, incredible product. Kevin, the work you and your team does to make this is amazing. This is so powerful. It's so sophisticated.
Yeah, let me mention one thing about osTicket. I mean, kind of like really we believe in hiding the features, right? I mean, what I mean by hiding is not putting it on your face. We don't believe in changing the user way of working. If somebody's been emailing you for 10 years, they can still email you and they don't care what backend system you use, right? So that's really the concept. And the whole point of the ticketing system is to provide accountability and transparency. Even as a boss, you know what your employees are doing because they're responding to ticket. If they go overdue, you get an alert. Chloé didn't mention that, but we have all these kind of systems that alert a manager if you have a department manager. And then also provide transparency for the end user. Somebody opens a ticket they didn't get responded to, you know who responded. Most companies will have an email that gets shared and somebody would do triage and forward an email to somebody else. And this is mesh of insane communication that's not really provide collaboration. So a real ticketing system is for collaboration. And we started as an IT system, but we have people using this for HR. We have these people using for all kind of companies use this
Oh
system.
yeah, I
for
can
us.
see how incredibly flexible this would be. It's not just computer tech support. It's so much more.
Yeah, and I know the UI looks like 90s kind of UI. We're working on a new version, 2.0 part of it, and actually we've been making a lot of progress on it, and we have a full team on it, and we'll be releasing that in the coming years, and that will be, React front end and really customizable UI, themable. So we're really excited about the future in terms of what's going to happen, going forward.
That's great. Well, we're very close. I'm down here in Houston, and I find myself in Lufkin and Shreveport pretty regularly. Alexandria is really important to me, actually, as a pilot. You have a navigational aid in Alexandria that I can receive when I'm flying in Cleveland, Ohio, and often did to fly from here to Alexandria and from there home. But my point here is, hopefully, if an invitation exists, I would love to come in and visit the show if I ever get in your neck of the area, visit your facility, and you, by all means, are certainly welcome and encouraged to come on when you're ever in Houston to check out Total Seminars. We'll show you our studios and meet the principals and all that good stuff, because you guys are an amazing outfit.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're a small team. This is really the cool part of it. And Alexandria is kind of a weird place to be for an IT company, but there's a backstory to it. Maybe we'll get to it someday. And
I'm looking forward to hearing that, because I was certainly marveling as I looked at the staff and the location of how many people are from around the Alexandria area that are part of your staff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing that story.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Hey, I'll tell you what, this will get all generated, and I can't think of the right word for it, but in about 24 hours. And by all means, point somebody to this. I'll have it time-stamped and everything. So it's a great educational tool for you. Download it and chop it up as you need. You're most welcome to.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we'll leave you to it. You have a good holiday weekend, and I'll expect to hear from you in the future. I'm really enjoying the product.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, guys, I don't know about you, but I just was knocked out and bowled over. There's so much there. I think I got no complaints, but if there is a complaint, one thing that I would, and I'm sorry, because I was sharing, I couldn't read messages here. I was terrified that the Russian hackers came in, and I wasn't able to clear that, but we got lucky. So this is, I looked at their how-to videos, how to set this up. Not nearly this thorough or complete. I think, someday if Total Seminars ever throws me out, I want to go over there and offer my services in creating a how-to 10 hours worth. But it doesn't have to be as sophisticated as everything that they've shown us. You can set this up with basic minimal configuration stuff, more than enough to meet what we have to know for CompTIA in Core 2, and what I suspect, what I'm certain of, that we'll need to know more and more about Helpdesk ticketing systems as each new iteration of A+ comes out, and maybe we see it move into Sec+ or stuff like that. So let's see what wound up here on the, we got about 7 minutes, message forums. I'm going to pick it up at about 2:48. Take an exam next week, says Kylie Powder. Best of luck. Which exam, Kylie? Hard copy book saved my life. So this is, I'm trying to go back and see Net Plus, it looks like, since Zoltan is picking it up. Yeah. Oh, by the way, yesterday was the last day to take N10-007. You can no longer become a 007 license to kill. You're going to be a 008 now. And got about 3 years for us to see a new change in that. Forever in debt for Mike and Dave and their videos and Udemy courses have been so helpful. You are not in our debt. We are. Please, we'll certainly take you up on that beer if and when we find ourselves in the same time. Same town. I got PoE for my Pi 0 running Pi hole. Nice. 1 cable. That is really cool. And it's got 6. Very nice, Andre. Reading messages here. Problems with an iPhone to be expected. Techie Tommy, hey, haven't seen you. Have I seen you before? Is that a new name? That seems familiar, but if you're new, by all means, glad to have you here. It's an easy ticket to resolve. Get an Android. I haven't been attending all the help desk sessions. I've tried to get osTicket set up on IIS unsuccessfully. Don't. Check out my show 2 weeks ago. Set it up on a Raspberry Pi. You can do it, including the Ubuntu installation in, I think 2 hours is too long. So I'm going to say under 2 hours. You can probably do it in just over an hour. Follow my steps. They work brilliantly. And that's what Chloé used, notwithstanding the fact that I was sucking up so many resources. She just sounded like, sorry about that. That's my system's fault, nobody else's. But TD Washington had a question. I probably should have hung on to her to answer some of these questions. Apologies for that. Let's see, is there something I can log into in the hands of one ticketing systems without having to set up my own? Yes-ish. I don't know of any free hosted ones out there other than demo versions. So you look up Helpdesk ticketing system trials, and you'll find demo versions out there, but they're very, very limited. But couldn't wait. Can the submitter easily share ticket status with others? Clearly, it's very easy to do. It's just an issue of permissions from what I saw, or reassigning it, or you can even assign co-agents, co-agents to that. And obviously, a manager can have all access to all tickets and forms. Excuse me. Well, I'm glad they talked about that. Really helps. My throat not doing its thing here. Dave did this with Discord issue. Okay. Andre, I like this. We don't have the option for customers to open their own ticket. Yeah, that's called omni access. So you can have all kinds of ways to open up your own ticket. It can be done by telephone, can be done by email, can be done through social media connections. Omni-channel, that's the official name for it. And that's one of the things that sets various ticketing systems apart from one another, is how many and what kinds of omni-channels are supported. AEX was a fun layover. I never laid over in AEX. I know there's an airport there. Never landed there, but I do know that VOR, especially back in the day when I was still flying Pistons and Piston Twins. Will Century Grill, Southern Comfort. Okay, well, next time I get into Alexandria, I certainly will. I'll go visit those guys. We will go visit the grill. TD Wash, nice. I'll keep this in mind next time I'm asked to develop a ticketing system. All right, we're winding things up here. I think that's about perfect. It's 57. Yeah, I turned my mic down. You didn't have to hear that. All right, let me wind this up here. All right, it's been a good show. It's a good weekend. Holiday weekend here in the States. Everybody, please enjoy. Oh, I do want to talk about one or two things for upcomings. Let me get that cleared and answered. Because obviously we had to change up the order of things here a little bit. This week's project we just did. So I'm not going to do anything downloadable from today. I couldn't take enough notes and do it that fast. So enjoy this. No voucher contest. Come on. You know what? You get really used to living in the web. And so when you're working on a document, if you hit the space bar and try to go down a page, all it does is adds a space. All right, upcoming episodes. I mentioned this before. Mike's doing his regular show on Monday, 4th of July. I expect to be in town, so I'll work the back channel unless something weird happens. My upcoming shows, I got 4 on my list that I've added recently. I don't have these in any particular order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 4. 1, NGINX as a reverse proxy web server, as a reverse proxy. So NGINX can be used as a web server. It often is. It's a very cool and powerful thing. However, one of the things you can do with NGINX is make it a front end for multiple web servers that you have installed. That makes it a reverse proxy. So users from the outside hit your NGINX server, and it says, what are you trying to do? What server are you trying to access? And it will redirect to the appropriate servers. They don't have to be web servers in your site. And I found a need to do that in one of my setups here. And I learned that it's fairly easy. It's very practical, powerful, flexible. So we're going to do NGINX as a reverse proxy server. I got excited this week at some pictures I saw, some astrophotography done with that really high pixel ArduCam, and I got 64 megapixel. I have never seen the Milky Way. I've seen it in pictures. We all have. I've seen it in movies and videos and things like that. But I have never lived any place that is dark enough that you can see with the naked eye the Milky Way. And while I've been places that have been dark enough, other priorities kept me from looking up. So you can do long format photography with this ArduCam, and it's auto-focusing and doesn't need any special lenses. You point that thing to the sky, you do long exposure. And I was looking at somebody's pictures of, I didn't even think they realized they took pictures of Milky Ways. They got comets going across in some of those long exposures. They got aircraft going across. It was really cool. You can actually tell which direction it was going because it's the color of the light on the wingtips. So anyways, I'm going to do astrophotography with an ArduCam. There's lots of operating systems that runs on Raspberry Pi, and one of them has become stable enough that we're going to do a show on it. It's called Endeavour OS with the British spelling. So we're going to do an Endeavour OS installation. And then I got a really quick and easy and painless one called Avahi, A-V-A-H-I, for distros that don't recognize or provide local domains. What I mean by that is your Raspberry Pi, if you're running Raspbian or Raspberry Pi OS right now, you give it a name. That's my server name is called Fred. Well, I can find it with my Windows machine by typing in fred.local. That .local is a local domain. And where that comes from is from your DHCP server, or you can manually configure it or whatever. But there are some distros that don't participate in that. They can't find it. They can't announce what local domain they're on. That's where Avahi comes in. We're going to install Avahi and make all this stuff easily recognizable and accessible. So those are my next 4 shows in whatever order I choose to do them. All right, I'm running 2 minutes over time. Remember, Elaine Batzler is here July 11th. I don't know if we're going to do her remote or in the studio or whatever, but Mike isn't going to be in town, and they were planning on sharing the studio together. So I don't know what we're going to do, but she is going to be in on the 11th, no matter where she is. All right, so I'm going to wind it up. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Many thanks as ever and always to Dudley Leamer, head of Total Seminars, Mike Myers, everybody at Total and National Cyber who so generously provide us time and resources to get together once a week and talk with you. My most heartfelt thanks goes to you and everyone who comes here to participate. I am Dave Rush, Senior Instructor at Total Seminars, Resident Pi Specialist. I'm wishing you a great weekend, holiday weekend if you're here in the States, regular weekend anywhere else. Take care of each other. Take serious steps to stay healthy. Call or visit your parents if that's at all possible. And never forget, technology is great, but the greatest resource we have are you and I. And with that, I will see you. Let me see. No, I'm not going to do Discord. We have a fun project that we got to take care of while it's still light here. So I will see you at the AMAs next week. And until then, I am out of here. Good weekend, everybody.